What's up guys, I'm Random Frank P. Here they review, this time of the Parrot Bebop drone. Now shout out to Sprout Up, a company that sends you stuff pretty much for free to review. This is going to be great for small channels who don't have the money to buy stuff. They pretty much lend you something to review and you send it back. It's a really great program. I'll put your link down below if you guys want to check it out and sign up. But that's how I got this drone to review today. And this is my first drone to review. It's pretty easy actually. It's a really cool, very lightweight drone. Very consumer friendly as well. I have zero past experience with flying drones, and I really just picked this up, started flying it, and I'm controlling it all on my phone, which is really awesome. So I'm gonna take you guys to a little look, showing you guys how it looks, stuff when it's flying, showing you the camera footage on the drone itself, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So the Bebop drone is just around a pound at 14.5 ounces. Like I said, extremely lightweight. And for all those people who like getting aerial shots of some footage, it does have a built-in camera on the front. I'm actually getting some footage right now of it in the sky, getting some of the sky scenes or whatever you want to call it. And it is a 1080p camera. It does have in-body like stabilization, so you're not getting really like jagged shots. It does kind of equal it out, and has a 14 megapixel camera on front for getting some pictures and stuff as well. Now, as I mentioned, it is around a pound, but that still is, it's exceeding the weight limits for drones that don't need to be registered. The FFA, I believe up until February, is requiring you to register certain drones so they can sort of track it, to kind of control people that are flying it in case anything happens, like crashing into a school bus or anything like that. It's really their way of kind of just controlling the drones around the area. Since they're becoming much more consumer friendly and on the market right now, anyone can pretty much buy them. So this is their way to kind of regulate it. Now, the first time I picked this drone up, I literally had zero past experience and I just started flying it. It was extremely simple and it's all controlled with this app, the Free Flight 3. And right now, I'm just zooming it up and down, left and right. It is all very easy to control, all with your app. It's pretty much your two thumbs. You control the altitude, left and right, spinning it around. Very simple. And you can also do the things like recording it. It does have 8 gigabytes internal storage on the drone itself, so you can store up to, I'm gonna say around an hour footage of 1080p footage and some pictures as well. All you have to do is just go to the gallery on the app and export them, or bring them onto your phone, and you can put them on your computer or upload them to wherever you want. Very simple, and it's cool that it has 8 gigabytes already in there for you, so you don't have to go out and buy another SD card or anything like that.
Just to drop some more specs, the Bebop can fly up to 150 meters of max altitude, and is capable of going 2 kilometers max distance away, which is just around over a mile. Now we're going to take it inside so we can get a better look at the drone itself and go over some of its physical features. We have 4 total high-powered propellers, which is obviously what's going to make the drone fly. We have 2 yellow ones in the front with 2 black ones in the back. The propellers are protected by this removable styrofoam guard that goes alongside the drone. This is meant for a few things. One, really just keeping it much safer so you don't cut your fingers if you go to grab it, or if you fly into someone, it won't cut them up really bad. And it also helps resist damage to the drone and its propellers. So if you fly into a wall, you fly into a house, the guards will help it easily bounce off without breaking anything, keeping the drone protected. On the back, you have your power button, and there are green, yellow, and red lights that will alert you of things like the drone being powered on, pairing to a device, low battery, or some sort of internal damage, which is never good. On the top of the drone, you have the battery kept flush with its ergonomic design with a Velcro strap to keep the battery in place to prevent it from falling out mid-flight. On the bottom are 4 shock pads for a smoother landing, 4 total feet to keep it elevated, and the drone sensor right in the middle. Now let's take a look at some of that aerial footage from the drone. Again, it is 14 megapixels for taking photos and can take 1080p video. Just real quick, my thoughts. I really like the contrast we're getting here. We're looking at a nice sunset and we're getting some pretty decent colors. A lot of the saturation and white balance, stuff like that, can be changed within the settings on the app. But this is just raw, everything unaltered, and it looks pretty good. I found that it adjusted to the low light really well, and that's why we're seeing just this nice shot of the sunset. So I was pretty impressed with it. Not the greatest, bit rate, but hey, definitely better than nothing. And this is what it looks like when you're controlling it through the app. You can go in and do a lot of different things. The settings are very intense with the stuff that you can change. You can fly it with the gyroscope inside of your phone. You can do certain things like have it mapped with the GPS. But everything is very controlled inside this app, which is very great. You can make it do things like front flips, back flips, flip to the left or right, and it's all just controlled easily with the joysticks, on the app. Just giving you a little look at some of the flips and stuff it can do. Very easy, very controlled. All you do is just double tap the flip button and it'll do it right there for you. But yeah, just a great app to control this guy. You can go into the settings and change things like the max inclination degree, change up some of the controls. That's what I was talking about before. You can change the max altitude. It goes up to 150 meters and 2 kilometers away from you. You can kind of put like a limit on that if you don't want it to go that high or that far away from you. The flight settings, again, just changing some of the speeds and the rotation if you want to change some of that up, some of the recording settings. And that's what I was talking about earlier with the image settings. You can change the saturation, the contrast, the white balance to get us an overall better shot. I showed you some of the footage, and again, I would like to be a little bit better, but I'm not going to complain. It, like I said, better than nothing, and it still looks pretty good. You can get some nice aerial shots, and you can go in and just change some of the other settings in there as well.
One kind of downside to these drones, and we're kind of experiencing it right now, is the weather limitations. I've had this drone for almost a month and I've only got to fly it like 3 to 4 times. Where I live, it is kind of really windy and cold and rainy the past few weeks. So you can only really fly this when there is very little wind, and obviously not when it's raining. The drone's not gonna operate in the wind. So the weather limitations is certainly a downfall, but you should be wary of that. And you can also fly indoors. There's not a lot of clutter, and you have a lot of open space. And probably the final big drawback is the battery life. You only get around 10 minutes per battery with these drones. They do give you 2 when you buy the drone itself. So really 20 minutes is it's kind of, I would say, the biggest downfall, because you're very limited then in terms of how long you can fly it. 20 minutes is really not that much at all. So you have to be wary of what you're doing, because you can very easily just waste the battery life. I would like to see it maybe around like a half hour per battery. Hopefully with the Bebop 2 we'll see that. Alright guys, I'll wrap up my review of the Parrot Bebop drone. Retails for around $500, but like I said, if you want to sign up for Sprout Up, you can pretty much get this for free, review it, and then send it back. It's great exposure for them. It'll give you a cool review on your channel, and you don't have to pay anything. So if you want to sign up for Sprout Up, it'll be in the link. It'll be in the description down below. You can check it out. But altogether, I think very awesome, very consumer friendly. Never flew a drone before in my life, and this was very, very simple to just fly right off the bat. So I think if someone's trying to get in the whole, quadcopter drone sort of hobby field, then this would be a good way to start. It's pretty lightweight, and it's going to give you a lot of the controls that you're going to want to do all in the very easy to control app. So I would highly recommend this. That's going to pretty much wrap it up. If you have any questions, you can comment down below. You can hit me up on Twitter at randomfrankp. You can feel free to give me a follow on there if you have any questions. And lastly, guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Got a lot of cool content coming out in the future. You're not going to want to miss out. I'm Random Frank P. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.